Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Welcome to the day. It is now 6:14 in the morning, people. It is Saturday. It is June 6th. Thank you everybody for being up this morning. As always, let's walk, let's talk. We start with positivity, gratitude, gratefulness. We start in a space where our focus is on uplifting and pushing forward. It is a great time to be alive. Please, if you have not done so, make sure you check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. Please share, like, subscribe, share. And be a part. Thank you everyone for taking the time to be here this morning, taking the time to join us. Again, like, subscribe, share. Where are you at? Where are you checking in from? What's going on with you people? I am excited to be out here this morning. Today, we are going to talk about breaking free. So let's break free. Let's be free. And let's see about making some big moves. Today, we need to understand that breaking free is about the steps that we take to be better, to be improved, to be dedicated and committed. And to try our best not to be driven by what others believe we should be or how others believe we should live, but by our own belief and our own destiny and our own possibility. Welcome to the morning, people. Welcome to the walk. Welcome to the talk. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Are we ready? Are you up? Are you prepared to accept your place in your life, the role you played in your situation? Life is very simple. It requires your input. Everybody has an input. There's input in a lot of places. And then there are results to that input. There are outputs. There's the outcome. You learn this early in school, very early in school. You learn input and output. We have a term of discussing it as if it is some type of mystery, some type of unknown event that causes it to occur. It's not unknown. We know what it is. Your life is the way your life is because there are inputs and there are outputs. There are things that you allow in your life. There are things you ask for in your life. There are things that you put intentionally in your life. And then there are the outside things that have a tendency to arise and be there. But you have to accept your part. What are you responsible for and what your life looks like? What part of your behaviors, what part of your actions are responsible for who and how your life is. These input and outputs happen on a regular basis. Let's not continue to believe that it's only the actions of others that determine where we are and how we are. You did this. It's time to break free. Break free of the belief that your life is being driven by others. Break free of the belief that in some way, somehow, someone else is controlling you. You have to break free of the own chains that you've put on your mind. And it can only happen if you are willing to accept your part. Are you prepared to break free, or do you like being in bondage? Is it comfortable? You have to remember, see, when you check in history, and there's a lot of places in history to check, there's a lot of stories that have been told when people have been enslaved, when people have been beaten down, when people have been prevented from doing or seeing the greatness in their own life, that when they were given the opportunity to be free and their own lives were put in their own hands, they chose slavery over freedom because of the responsibility of it. Oh, go back in the Bible, the story of Israel coming up out of Egypt. And in that process, there were those who said, my master was good to me. I want to go back. Why are you bringing us out here to figure it out on our own? Why are we walking through the wilderness? Why are we in these fields? Why are we being chased and hunted? I was a happy slave to the point that the text was changed. And when we came here to America, they taught us to be happy. Be happy with what you have. Humans have evolved to understand that if you have enough distractions and enough things to worry about your neighbors, that you won't work on the thing that is important, which is living and growing and experiencing life. We don't all want the same things, but we all want the same things. We don't all agree about the same way to get there, but we all want to go to the same place. We walk through this world with complaints and struggles and discussions about other people and thoughts about other people, and we aren't prepared to look at ourselves. Are you prepared to look at yourself? Are you prepared to say, hey, what am I going to do? What about me? How am I going to live? Are you prepared to do that? Or are you only prepared to look at others? Are you only prepared to talk about what other people are doing? Watch other people's lives, discuss other people's lives. See, I know in order for me to get somewhere, I have to get up. I have to be a part of what I'm doing. If I want this little channel I have to grow, I got to come out here and yell at people. Hey, I'm yelling at you, like my channel. Do you understand that at some point in your life, there's something that you're going to have to do that's going to be the thing you're doing for me? That is Pennywise wearing a top hat. And the statement in it says, you did this. If you could see the whole thing, I'll post it to the channel again. It's Pennywise saying, you did this. Thank you for being up this morning, people. Thank you for being a part of this walk and talk. Welcome to today, to our focus, to our growth. People, what I want for you today is happiness. What I encourage you to do this morning is to get up and be a part of your own happiness, be a part of your own day, be a part of the process that brings it about, that makes it happen for you. I appreciate you for being here. Please do me a favor if you have the opportunity. Take a moment, check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. Here on the East Coast of the United States, it is 6:24 in the morning. We're talking about behaviors, people. We're talking about being yourself and being responsible for yourself, accepting the challenge of being engaged in your own direction, in your own path. This is about discipline. This is about knowing in order to get somewhere, you're gonna have to get up and go. In order to achieve something, you're gonna have to start doing the work. You're not gonna get where you wanna be by talking to people about where you wanna be. You gotta at least start moving to where you wanna be. You gotta at least be prepared to at least say, man, help. You ever had somebody, let me tell you the situation that I had before, people. It's a very interesting situation. It's a situation in which so many of us deal with, and so many of us may be occasionally aware of, but others, at other times, we may also be challenged by it. When I was working for this company, there was a manager. This is a big box retail store. Don't share no names. There's a manager at the company who would always come to meetings. We had little managers meetings and talk about the things that weren't being done. Well, they're not doing blah, 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 blah. Well, they're not doing blah, blah, blah. All the things that weren't being done, all the numbers that weren't being achieved, all the things that he wanted to see. It wasn't the store manager, it's one of the team managers. And so there was one day in one of the meetings, he was talking about the employees' attention. I was a sales manager in the computers department. He was talking about the employees' attention to customers when it came to my department in regards to upselling or attaching software to sales. And I'm thinking to myself, this is interesting. We're having this discussion about attaching software to hardware sales, and he's never come to me to have this conversation. So in the meeting, instead of being offended, I did what I felt was a good thing to do. I'm new to this. I haven't done computer sales for long, so early in my career. So I said to him, what do you suggest? What would you like to see done? And he had nothing to offer. There were no suggestions. There were no tangible behaviors. There was nothing to go towards, hey, I think this might help. There were just complaints. But you have to understand, people, sometimes your life will be filled with complaints. Sometimes you'll be surrounded by people who are prepared to judge you and set expectations for you, but have no ability to advise you or guide you or even care enough to discuss the possibilities. See, there's a difference between telling someone what needs to be done and discussing the possibilities and the potentials of what could be done. We need to be able to see that difference, people. We need to be able to understand that difference. We need to be able to tangibly speak to it. You need to be able to break free of the consistent view of those around you as the enemy and look at them as resources. But they have to be resources that can be appropriately used, and you can't spend your time trying to teach a resource how to be a resource. You can't spend your time trying to teach ducks how to be dogs. Don't spend your time trying to there's these things they call hacks. Stop trying to hack humans. You don't need to hack people. You don't need, man, if you need to hack your employees, you got bigger problems. We don't need hacks. We need understanding. We need development. We need growth. We need to know how to have conversations about these things without feeling like we're in some way insulting others by doing so. Welcome to the walk, people. Welcome to the talk. Welcome to the morning. Thank you for being here. Never done this before, people. I threw a little green screen up this morning just to see how it looks. Thank you guys for stopping in. If you haven't done so yet, please drop a like. Double tap that screen. Doesn't cost you anything. It's just a way of saying, hey, I've been here. I saw it. I think that's Pennywise as Uncle Sam. If you think that's Pennywise as Uncle Sam, congratulations, you are right. That is Pennywise as Uncle Sam. People, it is important for us to have an understanding of our own direction, of our desires to achieve what our purpose is. That purpose allows for us to work towards it. Many people don't have a purpose. Their only purpose is to continue to work. My parents lived many years and their purpose was to work. I remember being advised many times as a youth is just don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. Don't go get in trouble. And so the focus in my youth was not on developing and growing and becoming better and seeking to have an impact and a change on the world. My focus in my youth was just don't get in trouble. Don't get locked up. Don't go to jail. Don't die. Don't get killed. It's like stay in your place. And I don't even believe that our parents understood at that time that that's what they were teaching us. Just acquiesce, just bow down, accept it, don't fight back. People, that's what systemic is. When someone says systemic and you don't understand what it means, what they're talking about is something has been done so long in such a way that you no longer need to tell that thing to do it. That's a system. That's a system. And if you can build a system, you can make things grow. Again, I worked for a company whose specific interest was learning how to make money by improving their payment options. One of those payment options is being you use our money to purchase our stuff. So we give you lines of credit. There are so many ways where it was revenue, it was beneficial towards the bottom line that they said, we need you guys to do it. And so they created a system for us to do it inside of the store. You know, it's a for-profit company. I'm not knocking them for it. I'm just saying it's a part of the process. And then they created the process where you could do it online. Significantly reduced their workforce, increased by leaps and bounds the amount of revenue that they were making, and were able to have that system work without the need of human interaction, except for the humans that were applying for it, the humans that were taking advantage of it. That's a system, people. That's why you talk to anyone who's building a business, anyone who's advising you in a business, and they will tell you it's the system. If it's you, if your business is just you, it's just what you do, you'll be able to make money while you work. You will be exchanging your time for money. But it'll be your time for your money and the way you want to do it. I'm not knocking it. But what people sell are systems. Until we figure out where we are in the system that we live in, it's going to make it challenging for us to create our own system or to find a way to build a system to provide for others, because what you want to sell is the system. I love you, sweetheart. Had to send a message to my wife, people. Thank you for being here this morning. Hey, guys, if you haven't done so yet, go check out my family page. It's the Baby Birds. It's where my wife and I share our family, what's going on. Our oldest son just had his 17th birthday. We have a bunch of birthdays in June. Please go visit the page. Drop a like, drop a share. Let us know what you think. It'd be great to have you there. People, this morning, I want you to understand about breaking free. In order to break free, you have to have a plan. You have to have an idea of where you're going. And then you have to work in that plan. You have to break free of doubt. You have to break free of the views and the intentions, the voices, the actions, the determinations of others. And you have to live your own. Let's break free this morning, people. Let's be free. I want to break free of that background. It's kind of giving me a headache. So let's talk about it this morning, people. Are we really free? Are we really desiring to be free? Are we prepared to do the work? If you are, you're at the right place, because it will take input from you. It'll take input from your thoughts. You'll have to dedicate energy in your actions, in your behaviors. You have to dedicate so many different ways to commit yourself to the outcome that you seek. But there has to be input. There has to be work. In order to break free, you're going to have to pull at the chains. You have to understand there are mental chains that can hold us down. Things that we've been taught for years, things that we've been told for years. There are belief systems that are in place that we have to break free of. But don't just break free to talk about being free. Break free to be somewhere. So often, in our lives, we can get so caught up in doing something different. And this is a lot of what happens as teenagers, that we decide, I don't want to do what you're saying do. And so we rebel. But we rebel against things not because we believe we have a better way, not because we believe we can do better, not because we have thoughts of development and things we would like to see. We rebel because we just want to not do what we're being told to do. It's called a rebel without a cause. You don't have anything else that you want to do. You just don't want to do what you're being told to do. We need to change that. That's the true meaning of breaking free. See, if you're captured and your captor tells you to be quiet and you don't, and you just keep yelling, you're not breaking free. You're not making change. You're just rebelling. You're just not doing what you're being told to do. You're making no actual change. In order to break free, there is a struggle. You have to move from being captive to being free, but there's a responsibility to being free that so many of us don't want to accept. There's an expectation to being free that requires for us to understand that if we are captive and we're not breaking free of our captor, that we're still in the same place. I remember during previous elections where people said, oh, if such and such wins, I'm leaving the country. And then you didn't leave. Shut up. You're happy. You're not leaving the country. You just don't agree with the person. This country's doing too much for you. You can't make the money you make here anywhere else in the world. You ain't going nowhere else in the world where you're gonna have the luxuries, the treatment, the access that you have here. A whole bunch of superstars. Oh, if he wins the election or if she wins the election, I'm leaving the country. Y'all ain't gone nowhere. And the handful of you that have gone somewhere, congratulations, you're free. Stop talking about breaking free. Stop talking about wanting something different and it just being lip service. We live our lives every day. We go to jobs that we want to see change in, but we don't go about bringing about change. We complain about the conditions. You're captive. They're still paying you to show up. They're still paying your bills. You're happy. You're not going to break free of that. You're not trying to break free. If you're not trying to break free, then be a good slave and bale the hay. Pick the cotton. Punch the clock. Do your job. You might find that you're not actually captive. You're able to excel in the space that you're in. But you have been taught, we have been taught that the best thing to do is to bitch and moan. Complain, complain, complain. You don't know what happiness looks like. If we gave you the opportunity and the access to happiness, you'd run away from it because you think it's a prison. So discussions about actually seeing improvement and doing better. If you want to do that, if you want to be there, if that's what you're looking for, then be willing to do the work. Don't say you want something and say you aspire to something and then given the opportunity to get that thing, to do the work, to achieve that thing, you still don't move. You don't even know about the situation you're in. You're a slave of your own mentality. You're a slave of your own making. And I'm not talking about a slave like, oh, I'm being beat down. I'm talking about a slave to the belief that you have that where you are is sub where you should be. Oh man, my job don't respect me. They don't treat me the way I want to be treated. How do you treat yourself? Do you get up in the morning to take care of you? Are you accountable? Are you aware of how your behaviors impact you? How it impacts others? Are you taking account on the ways that you could change and be mindful and considerate of others? Are you thinking about the ways that you can invest and help somebody else's company grow? You want somebody to take all of their time and invest in your happiness and your family, take their good hard-earned money from the company they build to make your life easy, and you don't like showing up to work on time. Oh, you don't like meeting the expectations they have for you. I don't like, they keep telling me to call these people. I'm not gonna keep calling these people. That's the job you asked for. You're a telemarketer. Dial the number. I don't like the way this feels. Do something different. You don't like the way it feels, change it. You have to understand, we are so prepared to put every failure, every concern, everything on everyone else, on how other people treat us, on how other people have created the system. But you have the opportunity to break free, but when you break free, it's on you to provide. You won't be a lone wolf, you're gonna hunt alone. It's hard. It's hard hunting alone. It's not the same. It's not the same as hunting with the pack. This is why people talk about the lone wolf, because the lone wolf has to accept the responsibility that I do not have help. I do not have a pack. I'm out here on my own, and it's by choice. And the major thing that a lone wolf does is he accepts succeed or fail. It's on me. I ain't looking for no pity. Don't pity me. I gotta go hunt this thing, whatever it is. It can stab me and I can die. I get it. But it's on me. I want to eat when I want to eat, how much I want to eat, what I want to eat, where I want to eat. I want to do that. It's on me. I don't have nobody else. I'm not calling nobody else's name. Lone wolf is a very rare thing. And I'm not telling you to be one. I'm not saying you need to be one. I'm saying you need to develop a pack, and you need to be able to either understand, are you leading it or are you a part of it? No business owner. I heard Gary Vee say not long ago that no business owner should expect that their employees are as invested and excited about their business as they are. It's not their business. It's yours. No, I'm not saying that you want your employees to be disengaged, but you have to understand that they will be as engaged and as excited as you allow for them to be, as the environment you create for them. You want them to celebrate your success, they need to feel like they're a part of it. You want them to celebrate seeing you rise. You want them to celebrate seeing you achieve and seeing you grow. They need to feel like they're a part of it. And we're out here and we're a part of other people growing and we don't even like them. I've worked in companies where the employees said, I don't like our customers. Would you want somebody working for you that don't like you? You got a house and you tell somebody to come over and do renovations, and I don't like these people I work for. What? I don't even care if it's valid. You don't want nobody working for you that don't like you. And here you are walking around in companies. Not only do you not like the customers, you don't like the people you work with, you don't like the company, you don't like how much you get paid, you don't like all of these things, all of which you can control by going somewhere else. But it's going to take you going somewhere else. No, no. Listen, y'all be funny. Somebody asked, any thoughts about Section 224 of the National Defense Authorization Act? I have zero thoughts. I don't even know if that's a real thing. Were those a random string of words and numbers that I was supposed to know something about? No. Thanks, though. Please do me a favor. Like and subscribe. Please share. It's important, people, to understand what's important to you. This is how you learn. What's this name? This is Chaz is back, baby. No, I don't know anything about it. I'm not dumb. That's important to you. It's not to me. It's not important to me. That's what you're sitting around reading about. Please, Chaz, feel free to share more. Drop as much as you want to in the chat about it. That's not my focus. Why should that be my focus? I'm not in the military. I'm not a descendant of Israel. I'm not going to war. And if you're here in the United States, it's unlikely a war is coming to your doorsteps. There is not a person alive. Maybe, let's take a look. What was the last war fought here in the United States? Me and you, Chaz, let's have this conversation. I like where it's going. You're telling me it should be important to me. I want you to explain to me why, because I don't just take on other people's visions of what should be important and what I should be talking about and why it should be a part of my life and why it should be a consideration. I need you to sell me on this one, Chaz. I'm gonna give you a chance to sell me on it. I need you to explain to me, when was the last war fought on American soil? What is the last war that resulted in Americans bearing arms against a foreign force on American soil? When is the last time that happened? Don't count the Civil War, because that was America against America. When is the last time Americans had to take up arms and then our Congress and our leaders had to send military force out to fight a foreign invader? Don't you just get scared and just tell me I should be and walk away, Chaz. Barry Bonds is a foreign force. Yes, he's not a foreign force, only if you're a Dodgers fan. If you were a Dodgers or a Pirates fan, Barry Bonds was a foreign force. Come on, Chaz, look it up. Somebody tell me. Anybody can tell me. Chaz telling me I should be concerned with NSA Action Council Call 224 and that me not being concerned about it makes me dumb. Come on, wising me up. This is what I mean about breaking free. Someone brings something to you and they put something in front of you and they say, this is what your life should be about. This is what your thoughts should be focused on. This is what your behavior should be about. And then they try to ridicule you into you making that your thing. And they don't have anything to back it up. And they're trying to make you beholden. They're trying to make you a slave. They're trying to make you fall into line with their way of thinking and their way of living. We have to break free of that. Oh, you're dumb. It should be. This is what we have to be careful with. There are so many things in our life where people would like to say, hey, my thing should be your thing. What's important to me should be important to you. We need to talk about this. We aren't going to do anything about it. You ain't going to go down into no freaking Congress buildings. You ain't going to run for no public office. You're not going to stand out here and make change, but you want to talk to somebody about it. And then you ask one question and you tuck tail and you run. You have to be able to stand up for who you want to be. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that being Chaz's position. I don't have any concern. I don't have any ill will. I don't have any thoughts that say that that person should not live or think that way or have those thoughts. I am not angry about that in any way. I'm not calling that person dumb. What I'm saying to you is, you have to understand where you stand. Come on, man. You have to break free of trying to be what everybody else keep telling you to be. There's no way for you to be yourself. Noah, good morning, man. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in this morning. Our life, our walk, our daily journey, we have to break free of what others are telling us they need us to be in order for us to be and live as how we would like to, for us to see the things that we say are important to us, for us to achieve at the level that we say is important to us. If you want to live in a certain way, you want to achieve certain things, if you have goals, if you have places that you want to be able to go to, you have to set those and you have to work towards them. We cannot continue to just follow and do what others say do. It's not your thing. You want to be a master of all, you want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. I'm not here to argue the political, social, economic realities of war and nation treaty signings. That's not my thing. It's a distraction for me. It's a waste of my time. I tell you what though, you come knock on my door, I'm ready for that war. You come around me and mine, I'm ready for that war. I know the laws and the governance in my states in regards to being able to maintain and carry firearms and under which situations I'm allowed to use them. I know those rights. I know those things. I know the whole reason I have firearms is should some foreign force come into the country, I'm going to war. People, when I talk about breaking free, I had to break free myself. I had to break free of the things that others thought that I should be so that I can enjoy being the father, the husband, the man that I am. That takes investment. I had to invest in myself. Maryland has some challenging firearm laws. Maryland has some challenging firearm laws. But you can get what you need, how you need. There are some things in regards to being able to take them out in the public, which can be challenging. And there are some ways in which those laws are imposed on the people of Maryland, which are, how do I want to say this? Targeted. Is that a nice way to say it? A nice way to say it, Noah? Some targeted laws. But I get it. Virginia has recently changed some laws. It was Spamberger, made some changes to the type of firearms that can be used. Here's the thing. There's recreation shooting, and then there's actual concern for safety shooting. And if you have taken any firearm classes, and I believe, Noah, you have, for any of you out there who've taken any firearm classes, who've done any training with firearms, the difference between a person trained with a firearm and a person not trained with a firearm is a person trained with a firearm is going to take out at least 5 untrained people with firearms easily. Just with the understanding on how to hold it, where to aim, how to fire, not out there putting a show on. Yeah, a trained person with a firearm, they're not trying to do trick shots. When it comes time to defending themselves, they know which way to go. You get a husband, a wife, and a 9-year-old who are aware on how to use firearms, and then you get just like 10 randos with guns, you're gonna have 10 dead randos. I have confidence in that. I don't need 32 rounds of ammunition. One of the first things that you're trained when you go to use a gun is, hey, one of the first things they teach us, what's one of the first things they teach you, Noah, when you go to use a firearm? You go to a firearm class, one of the first things they teach you is that you do not pull your gun unless you intend to use it. You have a warning process, that you don't move your hand towards it and be like, hey, I got a gun. Nope. You talk to people, You inform them verbally. I will defend myself. You give them a warning. I believe Maryland doesn't have any required state law on warnings, but you provide that. Noah, what was the father and son duo? And I think this was in Baltimore, Maryland. People were stealing stuff from their, you crazy though. The zombies, dude. If they turn into zombies, I think they'll overlook. I think the 16, what is it, 15 or 16 mag clip, I think they'll overlook that if you get that extended. If you got a couple of those during the zombie attack, yeah, I doubt you're gonna be in court for that. I doubt they would drag you into court and be like, he had extra ammunition to kill the zombies. Um, there was a father and a son who had a business in Baltimore, and people had broken in and they were stealing stuff out of the business. And then the father and son laid in wait. They laid and they waited for the people to come in, and when the people broke in, they killed them. I believe they got off. If I'm remembering this story correctly, they laid and waited for the thieves to come in, and then they shot and killed the thieves in the act of stealing from them. I know Florida, you shoot a Bama in Florida for sneezing in the movie theater. Like, you don't need, if you're concerned about getting away with murder, convince somebody to go to Florida and yell at you. You can, dude, you shoot somebody in Florida, I don't know, it don't work so well for black people. There was, there was a stand your ground law that was applied to some people, and they're like, yeah, man, you're good to go. It was applied to some other people, they were like, nah, you don't get to use that. You don't get to do that. What's PNG? Prince George's County? What is that? I'm from PNG. You from Pigtown? That's South Baltimore? Was that the wrong letters? Yeah, man, we gotta break free, dude. We gotta break free. We gotta break free from what people tell us we can do. Oh, Papua New Guinea. I had no idea that's what PNG meant. I just learned something, people. PNG is Papua New Guinea. Am I saying that correctly? Is it Papua? Papua New Guinea? PNG. I think here in the United States, PNG is Procter & Gamble. I think if you go on the stock exchange and you want to get some stock, it's listed under PNG. Huh. Indeed, Trevor Martin went down, man. No, never been there. What you mean, Procter & Gamble? No, I've never been to Procter & Gamble either. I've not been to Papua New Guinea or Procter & Gamble. We have to understand, man, when we talk about breaking free, there is a mental aspect of breaking free is a lot tougher than the physical aspect of breaking free. The mental aspect of breaking free is it requires for us to challenge things that we have been told or we have been taught and we have accepted to be fact, right? And things that are as concrete to us in our belief as are the realities of our existence, right? Why is green green? Not why is green green, but why do we refer to the color of leaves and grass as green? Why do we do that? We do that because someone said that's green. And then there were a group of people who agreed green. Somewhere else they said verde. Verde. That's verde. So to us, it's green. To someone else, it's verde. But it's the same color. It's different words. We had to agree in order to be able to communicate, in order to be able to grow, we had to develop communication, right? We had to be able to draw correlations and relations. And so we see things, and that was created. But along with that, we were given truths that are as real as green being green, right? And once we started to accept those truths, it applied to other areas of our lives as well. And so now we're living our lives and green is green, but someone tells you, hey, you don't have to do what that person is telling you to do anymore. Do you understand when you spend centuries and you've raised children repeatedly under the belief of don't die? I just don't want to watch my baby being murdered. I don't want to watch my husband being slaughtered. I don't want to watch my children succumb to drugs. When you've been raised in an environment where only bad things happen when you step out of line, that you stop wanting to step out of line. You teach generations to don't step out of line. And then you're lockstep in whatever the leaders or the masses have told you to do. It is a challenge to mentally break free when someone says, you don't have to do that. I've been in Baltimore City. I stood on the streets and I've told the young men, it does not matter. It is illegal for anyone to walk up to you and say, run your pockets. Them having a badge doesn't make it legal. Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. What you gonna do? Say no. And here's the problem. And this is what makes it a problem. And this is what breaking free means. When you say no, like I said before, if you're a captive and you're the person holding you captive tells you don't yell, and you yell, but you don't remove yourself from being captive, you're not breaking free, you're just rebelling. Is we have to have a purpose to our actions. The first thought is, I can break free from the thought that this is the only place I can be. I can only stand on this corner. I can't go anywhere else. I can only do this thing this way. I can't do it anywhere else. Because I've been taught that this is where we go, this is what we do, this is who we are. So I'm gonna always be on the corner where this is, and this is where they're gonna be able to find me. If you don't want to work for money, Noah, I think we had this conversation before. If you don't want to work for money, you need to work to get to a place where you don't have to work for money. We talked about this. Not working for money doesn't mean that you don't work. It just means that the life that you lead creates revenue and pays for your life for you. That's what not working for money means. Saying that I don't have to work for money is not about saying that I don't have to do work, because we work anyway as humans. We work all the time. We worked before there was a concept of money. Before there was a way to be able to take a standardized form of currency to someone else and say, hey, take this and give me bread, we worked. So this is the thing that's going to be important, people. This is the thing that's going to create the growth and development for us and the ability to break free for us. The thing that's going to create that for us is a realization that if we want to break free, we have to break free of the things that they've told us is the only thing we could be. We have to break free of those shackles. As long as you pay taxes. You ain't got to pay taxes either. Man, listen, that's what they keep telling us, right? You got to pay taxes. Trump don't pay taxes. See, you think the taxes are about Here's the thing. I'm gonna take y'all back. You can look it up. If you're at home, you got a computer in front of you. If you're on your phone, you can push the little YouTube to the side. You can look this up, people. It's a fact. Let me see if I can fix this delay in the audio. Hopefully that's gonna sharpen up the delay in the audio. Let me know if it's improved. It might only be good for a couple of minutes. You don't have to pay taxes. If you have the opportunity, I want you to look this up. George Bush suggested putting a tax stamp. Baby Bush, not Daddy Bush, Baby Bush suggested putting a tax stamp on cocaine. It was the concept of, if we cannot stop it, and we have no intentions on putting in the effort to stop it because there's too many people making money from it. And he was like, well, I guess we could put a tax stamp on it. Look it up. George Bush recommends tax stamp for cocaine. And there should be a video of him. I believe he said it during a press conference. It may have been a report. George Bush recommended putting a tax stamp on cocaine. Here's why this is relevant. Taxes are not for you, they're for your money. If you understand that money was created for trading, and the reason you have to pay taxes is because you're not trading your money. You're not trading it because you don't pay taxes on money you trade. If you invest money in a business and you leave that money invested in a business, in a stock market, if you start a business and you invest money in your business, they give you money back. When you file your taxes and you say, I did not make a profit, they say, okay, this is how much money you traded. This is how much money you put out into the economy to make money, and you didn't make money. We're going to give you money. They're going to put the money back into your business. Money is not supposed to be used to consume. And this is where we get caught. Is you believe that you have to pay taxes. You don't. You're not paying taxes. Your money is. Because you're using your money to consume. If your money is invested, they don't tax your investments. If you leave your money in investments, they don't tax your investments. They tax you when you use your money to buy stuff for you, when you consume things, when you buy TVs and cars and homes. You don't want to pay those taxes? Start a business and let your business buy the TVs, the cars, and the homes. Because as long as your business purpose is to provide these things for the business, then those will get written off as well. See, you don't have to pay taxes. The use of your money does. And you're paying taxes on the money you're using because it doesn't have real value. Because the government has put it out there and they said you have two options. You can invest it so that more people go to work for us to pay. So when they buy things, we tax them, or you can buy things. Because when you invest your money to the point that your money makes enough money to pay for your life, you're not paying taxes anymore. You don't care about taxes. Why do you think rich people say, I don't own anything? I don't get a paycheck. Why? Because it's not in their name. This is why we have to start to understand that the process of doing it requires investment. It requires for us to take the time to do it. Good morning. Hey, haters. Thank you for stopping in. That's a nickel. I got a nickel for that comment. I ain't got to pay no taxes on that either because my YouTube channel is organized as part of LLC. This is all I'm saying, man. Breaking free is a mental concept. It's something you got to do it mentally far before you do it physically. It's something that we have to understand when we talk about breaking free. We have to break free of the thoughts and the concepts that there's only one way to do things. We have to start to educate ourselves to the point to truly understand how things work. LLC, I haven't gone S Corp yet. So why is this important for us, guys? It's important because as we start to talk about breaking free, as we start to live the life of breaking free, all of this is going to require discipline from us. It's not instantaneous. It's not something that happens overnight. It's in a food channel. It's not something that happens overnight, but it has to start somewhere. And discipline is built off of 4 pillars, people. Discipline is very, very simple. First pillar is repetition. Repetition simply means you have to get up, you have to get started. You don't have to be good at it, you don't have to grade it, you may not be able to do it every day, you may not be able to do it as well or go as far, but repetition is the first pillar of discipline. Second pillar is patience. You have to be patient. You're not going to get it done tomorrow. You're not going to go to the gym and work out for 20 hours and all your problems are going to be fixed. It's not going to work that way. That's the second part of it. Discipline requires repetition and patience. After you've added your repetition and your patience, the next thing that you're going to add to it is going to be consistency. Now, consistency kicks in because your repetition and patience has taught you how to do it. And now you have a plan. Consistency is the third pillar. You cannot be consistent at something to which you do not have the knowledge or ability to perform at a consistent level. You cannot be consistent at cooking food if you have not learned how to set the temperature, prepare the food, whether or not the food needs to thaw first, does it need to sit out overnight, in order for you to become consistent at cooking something. Before you can be consistent, you have to start cooking. You have to start the process, and then you have to be patient. You have to understand the temperature can't be set to high for everything you cook. That's why we start off with repetition. And then with from repetition, we add the patience. Now we have a plan, we have a knowledge on how to do it. And then when we have that, we can go consistency. Now consistency requires for us to grade it. And this is the part that a lot of people fall apart on or fall away from, is now that you have the consistency, you need to be able to say that this consistency requires for me to do this thing at a certain level. Not just to do it, but to be able to do it and perform it at an expected level. Because you have to grade something in order for it to be consistent. You can't just do something and say, hey, I'm doing it consistently, just showing up. Showing up isn't consistent. Showing up is repetition. Consistency is showing up and performing at an expected level. So we start with repetition. We do repetition with patience to learn how to do the thing. We start to perform it with consistency, and then we have to persevere. That's the fourth pillar, right? Fourth pillar, repetition and consistency are not the same. And I just explained it. I'll explain it to you again if you want me to, CJ. Repetition is just showing up. You don't have to grade repetition. That's why kids start preschool. That's why kids learn how to go potty with pull-ups. That's how you learn how to walk, by standing. It's not consistently. That's not consistency. You can't grade it. You have to get started. You have to be patient. No, I don't know how to run yet. I don't know how to jump yet. I'm not stable when I walk, but I'm going to get there because I'm going to continue to try. I'm going to continue to show up. That's not consistency, which is why you don't grade kids while you're teaching them. If you know anything about education, they tell you in the beginning, you don't test while you teach. You teach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, this is 1, 2, 3. You teach, you teach, you teach, you teach, you teach. That's repetition. You grade consistency. This is what we have to understand. And if you don't set the difference between the two, people give up because they believe that when they don't get something right, that they're failing to be consistent. No, you're learning how to do something. You can't be consistent with it until you know how to do it. Because once you know how to do it, now you have to set a standard. And that standard is how you learn and how you grow. That is consistency. Repetition coupled with patience, that allows for you to build consistency, and then you have to persevere. If you take those 4 pillars, and I don't care what it is you're working on, CJ, I don't care what it is you're working on, anyone out there, anyone listening, if you take those 4 pillars and you put those in the appropriate order and you follow them, you can point the weapon of discipline at anything and achieve your goal. You want to lose weight? Great. Repetition. First thing you need to do is we need to stop eating sweets. So what are we going to do? We're not going to stop eating sweets. We're going to start eating more vegetables. It's almost impossible to say stop doing something. You don't have breaks in your belly. You don't have breaks on hunger. This is why people are challenged so hard, is because their focus is on stopping something bad versus starting something good. You have to start the good behavior. You have to implement that. You have to focus on that. You don't have to go somewhere for somebody to tell you if you got a choice between celery and cheesecake, celery is going to be the healthier option. So you start the repetition of eating healthier, of choosing healthier snacks, of choosing healthier behavior, adding exercise to your day. It's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going to get that sweet tooth and you're going to eat a piece of cheesecake. Don't worry about it. We're not grading it yet. We're just working on the repetition of, man, I should have made a better choice. Okay, we got another chance to do it. Be patient. You're going to learn over time. You're going to teach your body that I don't crave sugar. I crave nourishment. There are other places to find it. There are other places to do it. It's the repetition stages. Y'all funny, you make me hungry. Still don't understand the difference. I think it helps if you give examples like, okay, so I'll give you an example of the difference between repetition and consistency. Steph Curry, right? If you're still there with me, let me know, CJ. Let me know if you're there, CJ. So Steph Curry, American basketball player, can hit 3-pointers consistently. They have a grade. If you look it up, I don't know what it is. Look up what his career 3-point percentage is, right? Somebody out there, look up what it is. I don't know it off the top of my head. I just know that he's a good player. I think he leads the NBA most 3-pointers ever made all time. Look up his career percentage at 3-pointers made. And this is taken into consideration that he has attempted 3-pointers from further away from the basket than any other players in human history. Him and Damon Lillard created the concept of the 3-point line is the free throw. All right, so a career 42.2% 3-point shooter. He did not start there. That is consistency. You can grade it. You can grade him out on it. This is how consistency works. If he makes 3-pointers at 40%, that means he makes 4 out of every 10. If he goes into a game and he misses 10 and doesn't make any, that means he's got a game coming up where he's going to be on fire and he's going to make 80%. You just don't want to be that team because he has shown you over my career, I will make 40% of the 3-pointers that I attempt. And if you go back in his career, you're going to see it. You're going to have games where he's cold. You're going to have other games where people is like, why did we come out here tonight? Why is he doing this to me? That is consistency. Consistency started with him as a child, learning to dribble, learning to walk, learning to run, learning to dribble, learning to change direction, learning to follow the form of shooting a basketball over and over and over and over, and that's the repetition. Then he got into a league where they were like, hey, in order for you to play, you got to be better. You have to do this, you have to grow, you have to improve. Steph Curry went to Davidson, a small college in North Carolina. Didn't have a lot of hoorah about him. Showed off in the NCAA tournament. Came into the NBA, he was looked at the same way as Isaiah Thomas. He's a little guy, he might be able to do something, but he's a defensive liability. And then he got his chance, and he showed out. Now there's an expectation. Here's the thing. You can go out there and you can hit some threes, and you might do it a couple of times. But if you can't do it consistently, we're not going to keep putting you out there, because the trade-off of having you on the court is you're going to score points. But if we don't figure out how to defend against you, if we don't figure out how to get you in a position where you can help us defensively and do more than score, we can put you back on the bench. So that is what I'm talking about, the difference between repetition. He had to go through the repetition to get there. He had to go to the practices. He had to show up before the games. He had to stay after games. He had to practice his shot. He had to continue to practice his movement. He had to work on his conditioning. He had to continue to go through the changes. He had to figure out ways to get open. He had to do a lot of things. And he had to do it with repetition. And then once he started the repetition of doing it, even with the hand-eye coordination, you have to get good at it. Here, you're learning this hand-eye coordination thing. You're hitting the ball, you're catching the ball, you're throwing it, you're hitting it. That's repetition. Okay, we've been doing this for a few weeks now. I'm gonna talk to you different. Stop moving your head, keep your ass down, bend your knees, stay focused, use your hands, use your eyes, see what's happening. Now you move from the repetition of it to performing it with consistency. There's an expectation of performance when it comes to consistency that you don't have with repetition. Repetition just means you get up and you go out and you do it. And at any point, and this is where so many people fail, is they believe that repetition is the same as consistency. So if they miss a practice, if they don't do their work on their hand-eye coordination, if they don't get it right the third time, oh, this wasn't meant for me, I'm gonna do something else. Repetition and consistency are not the same thing. You have to be patient long enough to learn how to do the thing, and then you set a grade on it, and that's how you measure your growth, is through consistency. I know how to do it. Now I need to do it on a level to see growth. You start lifting weights. You can't lift as heavy as you can at first. You don't have the right form. You don't know how to use the muscles. You don't know how to engage the core. You have to learn how to do it. Let's do push-ups. Let me teach you where your feet should be. All of these things let you learn the repetition of preparing yourself to perform it with consistency. CJ says, so repetition could be 1 in 3 meals. Good and co-distance, all 3 go. Oh, consistency is all 3 good meals. Kind of. So repetition is I'm going to add better eating habits. And so I'm going to go shopping and I'm going to shop for foods. I've identified that one of the challenges that I have is I stay up late. And when I stay up past 10 o'clock, if I stay up past 10, I always end up back in the kitchen. Somewhere around 10:30 or 10:45, I end up back in the kitchen. As part of me eating better, I not only need to make food decisions, but I'm finding out that before I lay down to go to sleep, and this is not just kind of what may happen, this is the exact thing I had to deal with. If I stay up past 10 p.m., by 10:30, I'm back down in the kitchen, and I'm consuming something that's a snack somewhere around 600 to 800 calories. I'm putting about 800 calories in, and if the expected caloric intake for the day, I'm a pretty big guy, is somewhere around 3,000 calories. And I've done that deficit. I've gotten myself to the end of the day at 2,400 calories. And then I stay up late and I go downstairs and I eat another 800 calories. I'm over my caloric deficit. Now, because I've pushed past where I should be, I'm not losing weight, I'm adding weight. So what does repetition mean? Repetition means not only am I making healthier options, not only am I choosing healthier meals, but I'm also understanding I need to get to bed tonight. I need to rest. I find myself up, scrolling, just doing things also not conducive to how I want to develop and have things work for me in the future. So I have to start learning how to put myself to bed and how to eat the right things when I eat. So it takes time. So yes, one good meal is a good start, but it's more about, hey, I'm making good decisions. I don't want to clean up when I get home from work. I don't want to take the time to clean up. I don't want to have to spend time working in my kitchen cooking. I don't want to do that. It's hot. It's this time of year. So what do? I need to meal prep. I need to make chicken salad, turkey salad. I need to have some meals prepared that I can just pop in the microwave. That's the repetition. Once you start to do that, you've added your exercise element. You have your, excuse me, your reduced caloric intake. That's the repetition. You have to be patient until you are able to understand, I can meal plan this. I can learn how to put my meals together. I can learn how to take the steps. I can do it. Okay, now I got a plan. I want to be this weight by this time. And now I know how many calories to count. I didn't know how to count calories before. You have to have that knowledge, but that beginning, that repetition of, hey, I'm going to start taking steps, actual steps. I'm going to get out and start walking. I'm going to start purchasing healthier food options. I'm going to take the actions to get there. That is the repetition stage. Deepak, repetition is for the beginning. It is for the slow. It's for the slow portion of it. That's why you couple it with patience. To me, something that you need to have, something that the majority doesn't have. Repeat it once of the, well, I don't know what that means. Is that a question about Iran? I don't know if I got a free 50 joules from YouTube. I'll check. Good day, Manal. Welcome in. Indeed. Thank you very much. That's why I say there's 4 pillars to discipline. If we set ourselves up, CJ, and I'm so serious about this. The way we set ourselves up is we believe that we're supposed to be consistent at something that we have not learned how to do correctly yet. And so that thought process, like you said earlier, one good meal is the repetition process. Yes, yes. That's the way you're translating it. Sure. Let's start eating one good meal. Now let's start eating 2. Let's learn more about how can we be more full and eat less. Let's learn about how the calories work. What's the best time of day to take them in? There's a lot of different ways to do it. There are a lot of different diets. Only eat meat. Don't eat meat. Like there are a lot of different ways to do it. So we study, that's the repetition, and we start to work on it. And then we start to actually learn. And then we say, okay, I learn, I know, I need to start to perform. That's where we move into the stages where we're now talking about consistency, performing at a level of expectation. When we expect to be consistent at the beginning and we're not, it makes us quit. That's it. I'm never eating potato chips again. You know how good potato chips are? That's it, man. I'm getting up, I'm running every morning. You went hard for 2 days and your body's like, dude, you spent 27 years not walking and now you're running every morning? Do you know how you have to eat to support this? Oh no, I didn't know that was a thing. You can't be consistent at it. You have to learn how to rest and replenish the body. We're just starting the repetition. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cut back a little bit. Let me just get up and do a jog 3 times a week. Let me do the repetition. Maybe right now it's run one day, walk every other day. I need to get out. I know I need to add movement. It's just what kind and how am I gonna do it? CJ said, I think trying to dive in to the deep end and doing everything perfect from the start is causing me to repeatedly fail and spiral into failure mode. Exactly, because you keep jumping off into consistency and you're not giving your time to be repetitious. Climb into the 3-foot water. Learn how to wade. Use a kickboard. Go across the pool. Swim back and forth. Understand it's going to be okay if you get water in your eyes. Learn how it works. Develop the process. Now move down. Okay, now I'm on my tippy toes. A little bit more difficult, so I have to tread water here. I'm gonna have to swim back and across here. So I'm gonna swim down to here, I'm gonna swim back. I'm learning. Now I'm diving off in this deep end. Whole reason I learned to swim is so I could learn to dive. So now I'm jumping off the edge of the pool. I'm jumping off a 3-meter board. I'm jumping off a 6-meter, 9-meter. And then you start to grow. Shut up. Africans can't swim. I don't even like y'all talking. Listen, who's this? Don't play with me, man. You're describing problem solving with so many people don't know how to do. Hey, we do, we just don't know that's what we're doing. That's the one skill, and I've shared this a few times on the channel. That's the one skill that you learn in school. That's the skill you learn in elementary school that drives so many people, is problem solving. How do I get to a point where I'm capable of getting things done? You solve problems. If you start with repetition and you start to learn the process and you follow discipline, anywhere you point discipline into work, guys. I want to thank you guys for being here this morning, man. It was awesome having you in here. Thank you so much, CJ, Noah, for visiting. I appreciate the conversation. I forgot the 4 pillars you mentioned. They're going to start with repetition. So the 4 pillars are very simple. Repetition is pillar number 1. You're going to couple repetition with patience. You need to just get up and start doing it. Don't even expect yourself to be patient at first. Patience is a pillar all of its own, because when you first get started, you're not going to want to be patient. You're going to want to get it done, and I can do it, which is why you're jumping off in the deep end. Repetition, let's get started. Whatever it is you're trying to do, let's start doing it. You want to work out, do 10 push-ups and 10 squats. That's the beginning. Now you need to be patient. I know I'm going to do more. I'm just not doing it right now. Let's stay with the 10 push-ups and 10 squats. Let me learn more about other exercises. How long does it take to recover? What are other things I can do? We start to put in the effort to do the work, and we start to learn. Repetition, patience. Once we figure it out, do it. We know the squat form. We know how many we want to do a day, how many calories it burns, how it benefits us. Now we're going to go to consistency. Now you have an expectation. I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to eat this food. I'm going to do this exercise for this long in this way. Right? Those elements start to come together. The beginning of it is just a repetition. Then your patience. Now you have consistency. You have to set goals. You have to set marks. You have to create a plan so you can grade yourself on that plan, on those expectations. And then the 4th thing you're going to have is perseverance. Perseverance is paramount. Perseverance is more than patience. Perseverance is when you start to do it and you get to a point where you're like, I've been doing this so long and I'm not seeing progress right now. And that's when you have to continue to be consistent, and then you have to go back and you say, okay, I'm doing it. Well, maybe I need to be doing more than 10 push-ups. Maybe need to use a different form. Maybe I need to do them faster. Maybe I need to be under a different load. Maybe I need to add weights. That's the learning process. That's the perseverance. That's the growth. You have to persevere. And then as you continue to persevere, you're going to break through. You're going to see you've reached that fitness goal. And this is the biggest thing, people, is understand from this point on, you have learned how discipline works. So if the original goal is to lose, or if the original goal was to work out every day, you've met that goal. What's next? I want to run a half marathon. Maybe I want to reduce my body fat. Maybe I want to look a certain way. Maybe I want to fit into a different pair of pants. Maybe there's some other things that I want to change. These things are going to require for you to set and create a different plan in order to be able to grow with. That is how it works. It is repetition, patience, consistency, perseverance. And then you can point it at anything. And I'm telling you, if you use that to build your foundation as you work towards mastery, you're guaranteed to see success along the way. Uh, a car for edit, Pontiac Bonneville. Maybe you need to do nothing but persevere through your plateau. The plateau is the perseverance part. It's where you hit that plateau and you're like, dude, I've been working really, really hard. But that plateau is going to tell you that you need to grow. There's some growth you need to do. There's some things you need to do in order to get to your next place. Right? Thank you so much for being here this morning, people. It's time for me to get ready to go in. I'm going to head back to the house. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. The first, free your mind, and then use discipline to work towards any of your goals, people. As you do that, as you build that foundation and you build and grow with mastery towards your goal, you're guaranteed to see success along the way, people. I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I want you to have a beautiful Saturday. Yes, it's that time, man. You know I got kids in the house. I got to get home to, man. Thank you so much for being here, people. I want y'all to have a great weekend. As always, keep showing up, keep growing up, keep blowing up. Until next time, guys, God bless.